Hey YouTubes, what is up? I don't know what it is, but you guys seem to love when I'm on the screen, so I don't know what it is. Subs, likes, comments, everything was popping off on the last few videos, so I'm gonna give you guys exactly what you want. Here I am, back on the screen. But today's video, we are talking about Captain America, El Capitan, man like Steve Rogers. We're gonna talk about builds, we're gonna talk about obviously the game, and yeah, I've just been playing this game a lot over like the last week or so, basically at endgame now, so we're 140 to 150 power level, and we've done basically all the activities that the game has to offer so far. There are a bunch of endgame activities coming into the game soon, such as the Mega Hives and AIM Secret Labs, but they're not available currently today, so we're talking about builds that work in the stuff in all the activities currently right now. That might change, they might patch some stuff, they might change the ways that enemies behave, but for now, this is what we have. If you do like the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We're currently on about 500 or so, and your boy's trying to get to 1,000, so hook your boy up with that subscribe, and you catch all the other videos as they come in. And if you've got any video ideas that you want me to do or cover, or anything that you feel like is missing from YouTube in general, hit your boy up with that in the comments. Anyway, so into Captain America. This guy is meant to be a brawler tank, parry god, but it doesn't really work out that way. I don't know what the designers were thinking, but during endgame, a bunch of the enemies are like very spam heavy with the unblockable attacks, which you can't really block with the parries unless I haven't found out that way, or there is a way around it or something like that if there's like a predictive move to kind of block the unblockables. But currently, it's not very fun trying to parry and behave like a tank at endgame with Captain America. So the way that I've built him is around a brawler and the Brooklyn Brawler attributes and his ultimate skill tree. And I think this is what a bunch of people have arrived at. If you look on like Reddit or Twitter or even the Avengers Discord, you're going to see a bunch of people have come up with a similar build. I will say I was one of the first using this because I was one of the first at Endgame, but don't listen to those guys on the Reddit. It was me, all me. No, people arrive at the same build, so hopefully no one gets angry because I've posted a build similar to theirs. But this build is just focused around keeping Brooklyn Brawler up all of the time. And the thing about Brooklyn Brawler is it's just an awesome piece of kit. It just does so much damage. Once you have it activated, it actually gives you a brand new combo. It does like triple the damage once you are doing like a tap of the square button. It gives you back willpower, and you can generate more of it once you're in it, so you can just keep the uptime just going. So I'm going to show you just like the skill trees. We're going to go through everything and just show you exactly what I have. So when it comes to stats, I found that Might and Valor are probably the best ones to go for. I originally wanted to make a build around like the shield throw, so I could just be like, wah, wah, just yeeting out the shield. But I found that the damage scaling was a bit weird with like the shield throws, especially when you throw out the ability one, because that scales with heroic damage rather than just range damage. So most of the damage comes from like heroic damage. So I went into Valor, so that's going to give me more damage in Brooklyn Brawler, and that's going to give me more damage in with the Steamroller ability, which is the ability where Cap throws out his shield and just yeets it at people, and it automatically just bounces off. But I think it's about 8 people in total it can bounce off of. And then Might, which is really cool. So I didn't really know that this was a thing until I read the tooltip on the screen. If you stack Might, it actually increases the recharge rate of your heroic charge. So this factors into kind of the build almost. And plus it just gives you more melee damage. So you're just pumping out damage. Sometimes I'm hitting on a per hit attack, just one melee hit is like 10-20k on a hit, so it does huge damage once you're in Brooklyn Brawler. So for the primary skill tree, by the time you're level 50, you would have unlocked everything. I would say in priority, unlock your light attack, then unlock your heavy attacks. The shield throw isn't that important unless you wanted to just live the fantasy of Captain America throwing around a shield anyway, but you do get ability that does that. But the shield throw is quite fun to just mess around with, so go get that. So I was saying like priorities would go like from left to right, start getting those skills, and the stuff in the intrinsic tree you don't really use all that much. But all the important stuff comes from the secondary skill tree, and we're not worried about the heroic ability tree. It does give you bonuses to Rally Cry, which debuffs the enemies, which gives you more damage. I think they receive more damage. The enemies take more damage if they are hit by this ability, but boring. No one cares. What we actually do care about is one of the abilities on the Heroic Assault ability. So this is Steamroller that I was talking about earlier. So you throw out your shield, it bounces off a bunch of people's heads, destroys their whole life and their whole existence. The first one actually gives you two charges. I found like the best results is just having 2 charges. Like it just does so much damage, and it just increases the uptime of it. I just feel like this is a no-brainer to take Secret Weapon. Make sure that is selected. And then the second one, you want to take Vanguard Charge, which is huge. And it plays into like the actual build in terms of it just gives you back heroic orbs every time you defeat 2 enemies, which is, you're thinking, how do you defeat 2 enemies with the shields? When flying enemies are around or weaker enemies are around, this build would actually disintegrate them in basically one shot when you throw out your shield. And you're going to see just orbs just flying out and popping up everywhere. Then you have on the heroic ultimate abilities. This is where this is the most important section of this build. You need to make sure that you have Sikusu specialist, which means that wounded enemies do takedowns. This means you're going to see takedowns popping up every day, where as soon as you do like any notable piece of damage to them and they've like on the last bit of the bar, you're going to be able to perform a takedown. They don't even need to be in a stun state or anything like that. You can literally just throw this on and just like start taking them down. And those takedowns do 28k to like 100k damage. It's actually nuts. Then you have on this section Adrenaline Rush, and this is the ability or the skill perk that allows you to keep Brooklyn Brawler up as much as possible. For every time you do a takedown, you actually get 3 additional seconds of brawling in Brooklyn, supposedly. So yeah, make sure that you have this selected or the build just won't work at all. And then in the middle of the heroic abilities, you got ones like Strong Willed. I would say take this just because you'll have it anyway if you're level 50, but take this. This gives you 25% more willpower once you activate Brooklyn Brawler, and every hit you get more willpower, which is basically your health, meaning that you can just accrue health while attacking enemies and get your health bar up. And this kind of means that you're more sustainable once you're out there in the field, you know? You got more sticking power, and then you got Fighting Spirit that gives you extra 5 seconds of Brooklyn Brawler. It just kind of gives you a window for the juggling when you're trying to make sure that your Brooklyn Brawler has that uptime. And then on a mastery tree, all you want to do is make sure that you have heroic takedown mastery, and all the other skills in the skill trees you can select and kind of go with whatever else you kind of want. But the heroic takedown mastery allows it to spawn a heroic orb, and those heroic orbs are important. It just means that you can keep the uptime on Brooklyn Brawler refreshing once you're in Brooklyn Brawler. So by the time you're out of Brooklyn Brawler, you have a completely new brawling in Brooklyn. You know. So I'm gonna show you some of the abilities and how they work and how they function. You're gonna see here, I'm literally gonna throw out the shield, yeet it, and things are just gonna get wrecked. You're gonna see orbs, and because you got 2 charges, orbs for days. You're seeing this? 22k on a hit because of the way that this build functions. I'm not even going into Brooklyn Brawler yet as an actual to show you off. One of the tips I would say as well, if you are going to use a shield throw, try to target at the heads. It does like twice the amount of damage. You can see that it does like 12k. You can easily like just destroy enemies if you're targeting at the head. It takes a little bit of extra time, so it isn't always like viable, but try to do it where you can. If you can get gear pieces that have additional effects or status effects on them, try to get that as well. Those are just huge and just make the game and cap function a little bit better and a bit more versatile. But what I'm trying to do here is just push us to the next section so that we got a bit of more stronger enemies. Cool. Let's destroy this guy. Hopefully this guy goes down and then we can fight someone, so I can show you how Brooklyn Brawler in this build fully functions. Alright, let's go back to the start and we'll grab some aggro from these guys over here. Is there anybody left to dive? Here we go. Alright, so these guys are a bit stronger. You're going to see I'm going to enter Brooklyn Brawler. And you can see how much damage it's doing. And every time, if you look at the timer on the left, you're going to see that the Brooklyn Brawler countdown goes up every time I do a takedown. And you can see it's like 36k damage on the Brooklyn Brawler. That's just because that's how much health that they have left, basically. And that's like their total, I think it's like their total health and how much they've got. And you can see that every time I'm doing one of these attacks, Brooklyn Brawler is just up, ready to go, and we're ready to get back into the fight, basically. No, nothing's taking me down. This build is so good in the Heroic Hives as well. I'm doing 19k damage on these throws. It is actually nutty. I think this is one of the best builds. I'm going to try and build a few other builds. That's 44k damage on these shield throws, due to the increased damage of Brooklyn Brawler and some of the perks on my gear as well. So if you want to see what my gear is actually saying, these are the gear pieces I have. I've got a bunch of Valor Might on this one. The perks don't really matter. I do have one that's like heavy combo finishes, add a damage buff, which is really cool. If you can get one that's like range damage, adds a damage buff or stuff like that. I've got this one which range criticals, add like explosions and gamma damage and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's mostly just Valor, Resolve, and Valor. Try to make sure that you get like Might and Valor as much as you can on like any gear pieces. I do have a triple stacked ones. A lot of the time it's very good to go to the vendor in the anthill, that they normally have like a triple stack thing that you can go there and get. Anyway, guys, I think that's like basically it for the build. Like, I don't really need to show you more gameplay of it, like destroying anything else. You guys get the gist. As long as you keep your Brooklyn Brawler up and you keep on attacking enemies with the takedowns, you should be good. And even if you don't have your takedown, you can literally throw your shield at anything, and it should put them into a state or generate enough orbs. If it doesn't kill them, it should put them into a state where they're in takedown, so that you should be able to get your heroic orbs back up, which is really cool. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to your channel. Let's get your boy to 1,000, you know? Anyway guys, peace out. Bye.